CashFlow Diary Podcast, episode 13.
Congratulations, you showed up. Give yourself a high five in celebration of your success. Welcome to the CashFlow Diary, where new and experienced investors come to take confident action towards their goals. Your host is a family man, a real estate entrepreneur, investor, coach, and instructor. As a master facilitator of Robert Kiyosaki's Cashflow 101 game, he's inspired many to begin their journey into creating cash flow for themselves and their family. And now, here he is to offer you the tools required to earn the income desired. Your cash flow coach, Jay Massey.
Well, hello again. Thank you for joining us one more time on the CashFlowDiary.com podcast. Glad that you are here. If you haven't done so already, please go over to our website, get your free ebook, Investing Made Easier Wholesaling. Go over to CashFlowDiary.com, put your email in the box and get started now. Not only will you be able to get some of the tips and tricks that I was able to use to get started wholesaling, but you'll also receive the notification for the live webinar that we'll be doing here soon so that you can be one of the individuals on the phone with me being able to ask any questions that you've got as it relates to real estate and especially wholesaling. So we are hoping that you will download the book, listen to it, So we are hoping that you will download the book, read it, and then formulate those questions. Bring those questions with you. Bring those questions with you to the webinar so that we can get them answered, because we want to make sure that we remove all roadblocks that you may be experiencing into taking action or experiencing even bigger, better, more success. So bring that. Make sure that you've registered so that put your name on the list for the ebook, and then you'll get an email in the not too distant future about the actual webinar and the times and all those types of things so that you'll have the ability to join us and get your questions answered and take your next step. Also, if this is your first time joining us, make sure that you listen to the pilot episode number 1, just to understand the background on me or the show or both, depending on if that's something that interests you or not. So what we're going to do this episode is we're going to go with part 3. This is the third part of the live and unplugged in Chicago. So basically you're going to hear two small snippets from the actual training. I think it was about 15 to 18 hours long. It was crazy, but it was awesome. And you're going to get a little bit of taste of that right now. But before we go there, let's go with our cash flow quote for this episode. The secret of success is learning how to use pain and pleasure instead of having pain and pleasure use you. If you do that, you're in control of your life. If you don't, life controls you. This comes to us from a man that you probably have heard of. His name is Tony Robbins, Anthony Tony Robbins. He is an American self-help author and motivational speaker, and he became well known for his infomercials and self-help books, primarily Unlimited Power, The Science of Personal Achievement, and the one that I know a little bit more about is Awaken the Giant Within. Definitely, for those of you who've been over to the website at CashFlowDiary.com, you'll see the virtual book club, VBC as we like to call it, and you can get some information on Tony and his book there because it's, again, definitely one of those books that we recommend that you have inside of your library. So with that being said, what I want to do is I just want to make sure that you understand that the quote will become very, very relevant as you listen to some of these live clips and segments from the live training, and definitely take notes, definitely ask questions. Again, and I think I haven't said it in a while, if you have some questions, we do like to answer your questions. So send those in. It's cashflowquestions at cashflowdiary.com, cashflowquestions at cashflowdiary.com. So that way, when we get around to our question and answer episode, you can get your question answered if it's not too many questions. So we do select the biggest and best that we can in the interest of time to keep this show within the appropriate time limits for most people to be able to continue to listen. So with that being said, let's get over to the first part of the live segment and hope you enjoy it. See you soon.
So here's how I like to do things. When we come back from a break, it's giving you a time to change your, physical body positions, all that other stuff, change your state a little bit. And one of the things I want to make sure that we do is, you've heard it called locking in the learning, i.e., tell me what you learned in that last little bit that we've done that has helped you, epiphanies that you have had, things that you have learned that you did not know before, that now open up possibilities for you. Possibilities that you hadn't considered, things you did not know. So who's willing to share something that they've learned in the short time we've been together thus far? Can I get this lady? Where's the microphone? There we go. Right here. It is MC. Mary Cat. MC Hammer? No.
MC
sorry.
Hammer. Don't touch that, right?
Yes. It's all good. Yes.
Okay. Well, when you were just showing the slide and talking about the $3 million, now I've been around, having the money to pay yourself, to be paid income of $10,000. And even being around in real estate for a short while, like I'm thinking, okay, if you have rental properties, they can generate that amount of money. But I had a realization, because you're talking about controlling the assets with, the $3 million worth with other people's money, like leveraging other people more than, right now I have single family and 2 units, and I'm getting rent, but I'm not thinking of in the $3 million range, and I'm short-sighted, because it was an aha moment, like there's a lot of money out there and I'm leaving it out there instead of adopting that mindset.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you a lot, because the system's the same. There is no difference. It's just scale. There is no difference. Here's another test on that same idea of scale. Give me an idea, or better yet, give me an idea, a $10 idea, an idea that can earn $10. Anyone? What? An app on a phone, right? An app on a phone, absolutely. Give me another idea that could earn $10. Lunch tomorrow. Okay. You could cater lunch at $10 a piece. What else could get $10? I just need an idea that is worth $10. Lemonade stand. That's some good lemonade at $10 a cup, but that's awesome. All right. Give me something else that could earn $10. Garage sale. What? eBay. You got that right. What else? Affiliate marketing. Excellent. All of these things could earn $10. How could you take that same lemonade stand and make $100,000 with it? Franchise. See, it's still lemonade. It's the difference is the system behind it. It's the same idea. This is what she was just talking about. It's the same idea. Single family at $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 each, or just $3 million and get it done. It's the same system, which is why you can do it, sir, in 45 days or less. Anyway, I haven't forgot. I'm just not going to let that one go. If you get a phone call in about 44 days, you know who it is. Anyway. I better not get a phone call. Yeah, well, you might. All I'm saying is I love accountability. So with that being said, give me something else that you learned in this last section that was helpful for you. Yes, all the way over here. I don't know where the microphone is at this moment, but it is finding its way to you through this system, well organized and oiled. Here it comes.
Jay, I like how you presented the whole mindset thing. Whereas, a lot of times we're faced with problems or situations, and we respond to that based on what our past experience has been, or our education, or whatever. And what I learned from, and I'm excited about tonight, is that you encouraging us to stop, take time, and ask some questions about that situation, like, what would I need to get this accomplished? And I don't think we do that. I think we develop the fear about that situation because of our experience, like I said. And instead of asking ourselves this question, and then the next question was, how would I get that, whatever it takes to solve that situation or that problem?
Absolutely.
And I think that was great.
This is what I was taught, and I suggest you write down. Because I'm going to say it, and you're going to do this number, like, huh? And you're going to really need to see it to understand it. Use what you have to get what you need so you can have what you want. I'll repeat that. Use what you have to get what you need so you can have what you want. That's what I was taught. Very wise gentleman in Florida says that a lot. Anyway, and the point is, we all have something, but we need something else to execute it. This gentleman here, Big Show, easy. See, I can do Big Show. That other name he got, can't do that. He has a compelling vision and reason why to do something. That's what he has. Once he understands what he needs, it's easy then to go find who has what he needs and use what he does have, his vision, and enroll them in that vision so that then they together can have what he wants. Make sense? Same thing happens when you go to purchase a piece of real estate. You use what you have, hopefully an executed purchase agreement. That's what you have. What you need is financing. You find someone with it, you use what you have to get what you need so you can have what you want. Title to the building. Make sense? That's what I'm talking about. And when you adopt that process to every challenge you've got, you find out you've got a lot more resources. You've got a lot of other things that are valuable. It's not about, well, I don't have money, I'm new, and I don't have credit, and I can't do it in a year and a half. It's not about that. I'm not letting it go. It's about understanding what resources you do have. Someone else, give me something that you've learned in this last section that is going to help you. Yes?
I learned instead of buying a 5 or 6 unit in Garfield Park that I'm going to buy half of Garfield Park.
Yeah, well, there you go. Who told you, whoever said that you couldn't own a block? Whoever said that? Who said you only had to go a house at a time? Where was that written? I didn't get that memo.
I was told start with
one. Okay, start with one. Sure, one shopping center, one block, one city. I'm starting with one too. One what? You know, I also think about, I think it was Barry Bonds, he was talking about how he just hits singles. That's like all that he's trying to do is just get on base, right? You know, and here at the end of the day, that's still all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to hit singles. What's changed is my definition of a single. That's it. What used to be a single family house is no longer a single. It's like a bunt. You know, a single is now an apartment complex, a big one.
on one block.
Or a block.
Well,
Yeah,
no.
well, yeah, because this one's like 6.7 acres. It's kind of cool.
I saw it.
Yeah? Oh, yeah. You got the contract? Excellent. Oh, satellite? Oh, he's already picked it up on satellite. Like, there it is! I haven't even seen it. Anyway, it's all good. But that's what I mean, you know. It's just our definitions. It's our limiting beliefs. You know, there was no, somebody, what's a good shopping mall around here?
Woodfield?
What? Woodfield. Someone owns that. They just want it one shopping mall. Someone owns it. It's just not you. It's not me. Yet, keyword. Keywords. That's it. So, you know, don't limit yourself. Just because someone says one doesn't mean it's just one single family house or one condo or one whatever. Welcome back. And hopefully you got from that, or some part of that, that one of the most important things is simply how you view your perceptions or paradigms that you may have or hold when it comes to whatever it is that you're attempting to do. As you continue to work to build your own cash flow, that same thing is very, very true in everything that it is that you do. So the main thing that holds us back oftentimes is ourselves. And one of the fun things that I like to do is to think of the different ways that my own thinking or the thinking of individuals that I've encountered has held them back and continues to hold them back. So as I said before, and I say again, nothing is stopping you but you. I know you've heard that before, but most importantly, understand that, you know,
don't let someone else's interpretation of what they think you should do stop you from actually going out there and doing what you believe you can do. And sometimes what's really cool is not having been told that I was supposed to do one, quote unquote, at a time, left it open to my interpretation, and therefore we just went for it. And that could be fun too. Sometimes you didn't know, you weren't supposed to do that. You didn't know any better because no one told you not to. So you did it the best way you thought you should, which is excellent in so many cases. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to get over to the cash flow question that we had from last time. The question was, what are the 3 types of income you can earn, and which of the 3 potentially has the least base tax rate in the U.S.? And this is the least base tax rate even after the Obamacare changes. So what are the 3 types of income? First, they are, as defined by our tax code, ordinary, portfolio, and passive. Ordinary, portfolio, and passive. Ordinary income being the income that most people work for, but you're listening to this podcast and increasing your financial intelligence so that you work for other types or begin to work for other types. Ordinary income is the highest taxed. It's typically what's on your W-2 paycheck and or what self-employed people work for, etc. when you earn a fee for service. And here's probably the kicker for some, is that all of that money that you're putting inside your retirement plan, guess what? When it comes out, especially if it's a traditional or tax-deferred retirement plan, tends to come out as ordinary income. It's not fun. All right. The next one is portfolio income. This is typically the income earned from capital gains, usually inside the stock market for most people. And that income is less taxed than ordinary, but is still more heavily taxed than our next category, which is passive income. Think of this as like real estate paying you dividends or royalties. I really like royalties. Those are fun. And as well as real estate, obviously, right? And potentially, not only does passive have the lowest tax rate, or a base tax rate, I should say, but it is possible for you to get that all the way down to 0. And it's amazing what can be possible when you understand or use the tax code to your advantage. Now, I say all this so that you understand it, that these are just strategies, but more importantly, definitely talk to your own tax advisor, because I am not your tax advisor. I am not your CPA. I'm not your financial planner. I'm not any of those things. I'm just a guy out here who's trying to share some information with you that I understand to work and works well for me. So use at your own risk, so to speak. Anyway, this week's question: what is the number one skill? What is the number one skill all entrepreneurs must? Notice the word must is not an option. Must master. So noodle on that one. What is the number one skill all entrepreneurs must master? I'll give you a hint. Many of you are afraid of this skill. However, you can learn to overcome that fear by focusing on some of the books that Tony has, right? And more importantly, it's something that you must master. So you must figure out what that is. Figure out that number one skill, and we'll listen to the final segment that you will get from the Chicago training.
And there seems to be a prevailing theme and catalyst that to be extremely successful in real estate, you got to have reached a point of no return. Can you comment on that? I mean, is it what you need? What about for the rest of us that just want to do something else, something new?
Got it. I've had this question before, and it's interesting. I had one guy tell me after, either explaining it to him, we were one-on-one, and he goes, you know what? And this is one of my friends who saw us go through the whole foreclosure, all this other stuff, okay? And I talked to him before it all happened, quote unquote, and he said, no, I can't do that. Okay, it's good for you. It's good for you. And then after, as things started to get better, he said to me, he's like, man, I still can't do it. He was like, why? Why can't you do it? You see it works. He's like, yeah, I see that. But it seems like you've got to lose everything to make it work. And I'm like, interesting thought. Here is the whole thing right here. I love this. you've got this line. Let's call this your life, all right? What you are currently experiencing as life. And over here, you've got the things you like or would like to have. Let's call them your dreams. This is, oh man, if my life was just this, that would be awesome. And then what you also have is right here is this other line, which is called your reality. And notice how reality and dream are not the same line, okay? But here's what's unique is that the difference, this gap, is called pain, right? That gap is called pain. And here's what happens. In this situation, pain isn't that bad. So you know what? We're not very motivated to do much because it doesn't hurt. It's kind of comfortable. Yeah, I don't get to drive that car, but my car's kind of cool. You know, I would never, who on earth would ever want to drive an Audi S8? I mean, why bother? Me. Anyway, I love my car, sorry. It's just, they're fun once you get in one. Oh my God, V10, 450 horsepower. Whoa! Anyway. And what ends up happening is we start talking ourselves out of it and saying, it's not that big of a deal because the pain isn't that bad. Hey, you know what? I can eat. I can go to the movies every now and again. You know what? Yeah, you know what, honey? When you're talking to your kids, you know, yeah, I know those other kids are going on that trip to France, but you know, you don't need to do that. It's okay. We just can't make that happen. And you know, kids understand and they say, okay. So one of two things usually happens. We'll talk about the situation that he's talking about. So what happens is our dream is right there. And then maybe some things happens, like, you know, our spouse experiences hyperemesis and can't walk or talk, and you then have a punctured lung, and you've got all this going on, and you have foreclosure in your life, and what it begins to happen is that your reality starts to go this way, and now you're living over here, and this was the point of zero, and now you're below zero, and you kind of wish that you were at zero, because man, that would be so great. And what has happened is that your dream and what you want is still over here, and because of that, now the pain is so much larger than the pain you were experiencing before you finally get your butt in gear and do something about it. And just like a pendulum, we often overcorrect. The bigger this pain becomes, we tend to overshoot the exact opposite direction. Because we suddenly have the energy that was always there, by the way. It was never not present. You always had the same ability. You just didn't have a reason why. Now you were gifted a reason why. This was the greatest gift that was given to me, is all the stuff we went through. I am on a mission to make each tier worth $1,000. I'll let you know when I get there. Okay? And that's part of what keeps me going, is still connecting and remembering how much that sucked. How much it hurt to be able to call mom, my biological father, my stepfather, and everyone in my family and say, hey, we need money for food. And they go, we can't help you. How it hurt when I called them for the ability to have enough money to get into the education and have them say, we can't help you. And finally learn that the Calvary wasn't coming, and if it was to be, it was up to me. The pain was immense. If you've ever stared your own children in the face and not known how you were going to feed them, you know what I'm talking about. Not cool. Not cool. If you ever had to make the decision, do I keep the electricity on or do we eat? I don't know. Having to make those decisions creates lots of pain. I remember one time, especially when I was first getting started, we were in the car, I forgot where we were going, and everyone was talking about, ooh, I can't wait till I have this, and this is my dream, and this is my dream. And then they're like, Jay, what's your dream? I was like, I'd just like to have a positive bank balance. They're like, wow, is it that bad? I'm like, yes, it is. That would be great. That would feel like relief. And the pain is great. And what ends up happening is we need that great pain to get ourselves into action so that we start to then catapult ourselves toward the dream. That is an option. Here's the other option, and this is you, my friend. Our reality is good. Things are fine. But at the same time, our dream is still too close to reality, what we want. We see a way to get it. It's too close to get there. And all I got to do is be just a little bit more patient. So I'll just wait. Unless what we begin to do is reconnect with the little kid in us and begin to learn how to dream again. And as we learn how to develop this new dream, even though our reality stays the same, what ends up happening as we begin to develop belief in that new dream is that the pain again increases. And the bigger you make that dream, the more pain it'll create. The more belief you put behind that dream, the more pain it'll create. The faster you'll get up in the morning, the longer you'll stay up at night. The more, no matter how good it feels like right here, you could be someone who currently has 204 units and another 182 units under contract and still feel like you're broke and you gotta move and work every day. Why? Because people are counting on you. And that means something to you. You could. That doesn't mean you're broke. It doesn't mean you have to get up. But you could feel that way. You could work that way. The difference is that you're just not feeling a lot of pain. Mostly because your dream is too close to your reality.
Well, I was looking at more in terms of a personal challenge.
Oh, I'm giving you one. Give me a second. Because oftentimes, what we have is a dream that only involves affecting our life. What we must begin to aspire to and mature to is a dream that affects generations. What if you decided, how could I make sure that my children's children never had to work and only had to focus on volunteering their entire life and creating foundations? What would it take for you to do that? A lot. And as you believed that you could start that process, you would work a lot harder. What if you said to yourself, because some of you have been in houses like this, where you walk in and you see this big grandiose mantle or picture above the mantle of some person, and they point to them and they say, yeah, that's our great, 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 great grandpa who started all this, and this is why I'm a trust fund baby, right? You've been in that house. You know who I'm talking about. What if that was a picture of you? What would it take? What would it take for that to be you? Some of you have heard of names, especially out here, of Wrigley and Ford and Vanderbilt and what are some of the other names? Massey. Rockefeller, right? You've heard those names. That's what they did. They thought generationally and said, if it's to be, it's up to me. It's a dream that has to supersede your lifetime. When you're in this situation and things are kind of okay, but you're like, man, I want to do something different. Cool. Come up with something that supersedes your lifetime and build it. Ray Kroc.
The more it puts you out of your comfort zone, the
Absolutely.
faster you're going to grow.
Absolutely. You're going to need to be out of your comfort zone. Your reality must get shaken up, one way or the other. Either you can sit around and wait till reality gets worse, or you can make your dream better while reality's fine. Your choice. Both create pain, or you can do what happened to me. Reality got worse, and I made the dream better, which created the largest amount of pain known to man. Right? That's what I'm talking about. When you feel like, yeah, things are okay. I don't need another 182 units. I don't. But I've got things that I want to do that'll affect generations that won't allow me to stop yet. Not till I have 1,000 free and clear units. And even then, that's just the beginning.
All right. Now, hopefully listening to that, you walk away with one of the things that I think to be the most important and necessary ingredients for achievement. And it's kind of where the quote came from when we were talking about the beginning of the episode from Tony Robbins. One of the most important things for achievement, in my opinion, happens to be pain. And often if we're not feeling enough of it, we don't do what we know we should do when we know we should do it, because you know what? It's just way too comfortable. And if you've ever felt like, you've been on this yo-yo, like there are times where, you hitting on all cylinders, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, a few weeks later, you find yourself feeling like you're at the bottom, and you're just like, okay, cool. And then you go back and get to work, and then you keep going up and down, up and down, up and down. That's probably because you're not connecting to that pain enough. You don't have enough reasons why, like Simon Sinek has said, in his book, Start With Why. I mean, there are so many important things that happen when you and I are in pain that, there's very little substitute for them. And in fact, one of the major things that is important about understanding that concept is oftentimes we get stuck on, well, I don't know how to do something. Well, I can't. I've never done it before, or I'm new, or we make an excuse. And at the end of the day, when you are afraid, any excuse will do. Until next time.
Thank you for investing your time with Jay Massey and the Cash Flow Diary. When you have a moment, please visit iTunes and leave a positive comment about the show. And go now to our website, CashFlowDiary.com, to take advantage of our free business building course, Cash Flow Foundation. Gain the knowledge, understanding, and skill that will teach you how to never need a job again. Until next time.